Hi MusoMecca, I'm Charlie Barker. I'm a musician and a photographer from Sheffield, UK, and this is my interview with you. I'm going to answer a few questions for you and you'll see a bit about what I do.
I stood on the rail till I saw that train just to see how my heart...
Okay, so to start at the very beginning, I was always interested in music, even as a child. From a very young age, even as a toddler, I'd be playing with guitars that were lying around the house. When I went to school, I started playing cello at the age of 7, and that shortly progressed onto playing guitar around about the same age. And I went for some private lessons with a guy called Alan Kennedy, and it really blossomed from there. I enjoyed all the music I was playing so much that I started to want to learn to sing and play guitar at the same time. So from the age of 7 up to the age of 10, that was when I made my first ever public appearance. I started singing in a school talent contest, and that was around about 1996, and I've never looked back since. From that stage I started playing gigs in local music clubs, folk clubs and pubs. It started where I was actually starting to get paid for some of these things, which was even better. Aged 15, I entered a TV talent competition. It's called The Next Big Thing, and I was the only solo artist to actually play an instrument live and sing live as well. So that was age 15, and it was a really good experience for me, because prior to that everything was a little bit scary. I used to suffer with nerves particularly when I was younger, and going on TV, as it was BBC One, it was primetime kids telly, it really showed me how it all worked in the big wide world. If I wanted to do this professionally, I needed to be able to deal with those kinds of things at gigs and that kind of pressure. So that's kind of where it all started. I started playing in folk music clubs around Sheffield and South Yorkshire when I was getting to about 17, and that was what sort of initiated me into the folk music scene around England, really. And I've enjoyed playing at many festivals over the years, and sometimes I've even crossed over. It doesn't have to be a folk festival. I've played rock festivals on the acoustic stage. I've played general performing arts festivals as well. So it's been a good long journey over the last few years. In that time I've also recorded 2 albums on the Root Beat Records label. My first one was released in 2005, and it was called Sleeping at the Station. And I wrote half of the tracks, and then the other 5 tracks on it were covers of songs that I loved playing. It really summed up my music at the time when I was, when I was about 20. I eventually got around to recording my second album, which is called Ghosts and Heroes, and that was released in November 2011. And that was looking at the music of people that inspired me. I felt I was at a stage in my life where I wanted to just recognise those people, and that's where I currently am now.
Take my chances.
This is quite a tricky question, because there's actually 2 pieces of advice that I would give to another artist, and they've been valuable to me over the years, and it's actually what I've based a lot of my career on. So initially, as I said in the last question, I had a backup plan. It pays to have more than one option, and whilst you might love doing music, you've got to always be realistic. There has been a downturn in the economy, and certainly there have been a lot of festivals over here in the UK that have struggled, and some of them have actually closed their doors and can't continue anymore. It's the same with many music venues. Music is often seen as a luxury in live music scene, and particularly with venues. And if you are looking at making a living from it, it's been very, very difficult. The second piece of advice I would say is always regard it as a business, because at the end of the day, if you are wanting to make a living from it, that's what you need to do. There isn't, you know, there's no two ways about it. You either make a living from it or it's just a hobby. And either one of those is fine. If it is a hobby, that's fine, it is what it is. If it is a living, never undersell yourself. And it can be very difficult, and I know I certainly don't find the business side of it always that easy, but you do have to be tough. You should never undersell yourself, because you provide a service for people. And whilst other people, they may go and work in a bank, they may go and do a managerial office job somewhere, that's their way of making a living. Singing songs, writing music, your skills are very specialist. So never let anybody undervalue your skills and just pass it off as, oh, it's just a hobby. Because it might have started as that, but if that's your job, and that's your way of making your money. And it's just as valuable as anyone else.
I take my chances.
Well, at the moment, I've been enjoying going out and playing the new album live with Tom Sweeney, Jim Molyneux as well, and also Chris Thornton-Smith. We had our album launch back in November, and since then we've had some bookings. We're playing some gigs this year together, and I've just really been looking forward to working with these guys, even from the point where we exchanged emails and I said, would you come and play on my album, please? I knew it was going to be something really special, and I think it's hard to let other people in onto your music, and because you never know quite what the outcome's going to be. You hope that you're all going to gel and everything's going to work. And I have to say, with those three guys, Chris produced the album, he played on the album too, Tom played guitar, and Jim also played percussion, and I couldn't have hoped for more. So thanks guys, you know, I have to say that because they've done a fantastic job. In other projects, musical projects, I have been going out and playing live with Harriet Bartlett, as I mentioned previously. We're getting some more festivals this year, and you can check us out at www.barkerbartlett.com. So you can find out all about our duo material there. And I'm really excited as well with Sweet Dixie Dreams. We're going to be playing a couple of really big festivals this year in the UK, and it's just going to be great. It's really good fun music. It's been a complete change for me. I've never been with a bunch of people who just gelled so quickly and just been able to have fun and make music so well. We really do get on with each other very well. So I urge you to come and see us this year. You can find Sweet Dixie Dreams on Facebook, and you can also check us out the Duo project on Facebook too, and keep up with our social networks and news feeds. So please come and see us, because it's something different from my solo stuff, and I think, you know, you'll really enjoy something a bit different.
Cross lines with words and wire, and both have cut me deep.
Over the years, I've found social networking has been really useful to me. It's the number of gigs off the back of people finding me it's never ending really. So I think certainly social networking for this generation of people making music, if you're not on there, why not? It's free to use, it's just a bit of your time, and it really does pay off. So at the moment I use actively, I use Reverb Nation, I use Facebook, which is really good, I have to say. I have a Facebook profile and a fan page. I also use Twitter, which is just fun because you can chat with fans. Fans can send you things. You can post photos and little videos. No doubt this video will go out on the social networks too. Those are the main three that I use at the moment. I don't find that MySpace is as useful as the other social networks like Facebook and Twitter these days. But you can still find me on there. MySpace, you have served me well, but I prefer other social networks these days. That's quite a hard question, and I think other than the strange hair and my unusual dress sense, that may obviously turn a few heads and go, oh my goodness, what does she look like? But other than that, I think the most important thing for me is that I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm happy, because I don't believe that you can make good music that people are going to want to hear if you're not really in a happy place and you're not enjoying it. At the moment, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of support from the BBC. Over the years, regional radio stations have been very good to me, and some of the specialist music shows that they also have as well. My local station is BBC Radio Sheffield. They've been good to me. I'm often appearing on their talk shows, not just their specialist music shows. It could be a talk show about politics and all sorts of things. I think if you've got an opinion on something and you're quite happy to go and shout it from the rooftops and enter into a good debate, there's nothing more that I love than a good debate. Then, you know, offer yourself to these people and say, look, use me, this is what I do, I'm a musician, I also do this, and I've got an opinion, and make yourself an interesting person, and you can get interest that way. And fortunately, that's been something that's worked very well for me over the years. It also helped as well having a bit of a background with the Young Folk Awards organised by Radio 2 as well. I did those when I was about 20, and that's been something that's been great, and I've maintained that relationship too, in connection with the other artists, because, you know, they're doing a great thing for young performers, and it was really good to be a part of that all those years ago, and be able to put that on my musical CV as well. So I love taking part, and I love every year watching who gets to the finals and seeing all these great young musicians that are getting some good exposure. So that's the end of my interview from MusoMecca. Thank you very much, guys, for asking me to take part, and thank you to the viewers who watched already. So you can keep in touch with me on my official website, which is charliebarkermusic.com. You can also find me on the social networks on Facebook, Twitter, Reverb Nation and MySpace. Also, go and check out my photography as well at charliebarkerphotography.com, a nice easy one to remember. You can also see as well links from my official website to the duo project, which is Charlie Barker and Harriet Bartlett, and also the country music band Sweet Dixie Dreams as well. So thanks very much, have a good day, and it's been really nice talking to you. Bye!
But I never learned nothing from playing it safe, as the fate should not tempt me. I take my chances.